Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, the podcast aimed to inspire you to find your voice and become the best, truest, and most authentic version of yourself. Spiritually intimate, soul-to-soul conversations, life-changing insights, and spiritual teaching and healing. Real, raw, unfiltered. Join your host, Tisha Michelle.
Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul with me, Tisha Michelle, your host. Hello, everyone. All right, so I do have an announcement. The next two Heal, Align, and Glow retreats are going to be in Virginia. Virginia is going to be October 6th through the 10th. And then we're taking it to Nassau, Bahamas, because Jamaica was everything. And that is going to be February 2nd through the 6th. I've also opened up to do some couple retreats and individual retreats. Those will be held at the home location for retreats, which will be in Virginia. So if you want to get some more information, you can send me an email. Send me an email to Tisha, Tisha, at healalignglow.com. And the glow is GLO.com. Just shoot me an email and I can get you all the information, pricing, and what it all entails. And also, if you want to just hop on a call and just have a chat, still send me an email too, stating that you want more information and you want to schedule a call, and we can do that. And that's all that I have for you guys for announcements. All right, so I personally have a lot of projects going on right now, and some of these are definitely in uncharted territory. So that comes with its own set of challenges. And I was talking to a friend, and we were talking about everything that I had going on and I was working on and what would phase out in there. And she made a comment to the fact, something like, she was like, yeah, and then come October, you're going to be right back stressed. And that was because we were looking at the different things and the timings of stuff. And I said to her, I was like, I need to stop being stressed and get more creative. And then I was like, ooh, that was good. Then it hit me. And I'm like, life is so much about how we respond to things. Do we look at it as, here's just something else to be stressed about, allowing the overwhelm to come over you? Or if it's a deadline, and if you can see me, I'm definitely doing like air quotes over here. Like it's a deadline and it has to be done by this time. And so now you're stressed because the time, is approaching, that you're just so stressed about it. You're not even really doing anything because you're so focused on the time that you just forget about trying to come up with a solution, right? So I was thinking, life is really about how we respond to things. But like, what if we looked at it, this challenge is like, I was just giving an opportunity to grow. Or I was given an opportunity to push past like my current limitations, or to challenge myself differently, to do something differently, or just plain old figure the shit out and allow yourself to shift from stress to creative. And as I'm talking to you guys about this, I'm definitely talking to myself, because this girl right here, yes, me, ding, 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 Tisha, Michelle, yeah, I have been stressed. All right. And I'm like, wait a minute, the universe is God is throwing these opportunities to me, and I got to be able to catch it. But I'm having a hard time catching some because of this deadline, this timing thing. So I allowed myself to stay in stress mode versus being creative. I know I'm creative. I know how to figure shit out. But sometimes you gotta really check yourself and just like really see, like, is your life really stressful, or is it just the way that you're responding to these things? Like, are you allowing yourself to step back and be able to look at things differently and see, like, what am I missing, or what's right in front of my face, but because I got so much going on, I can't see it. Something that I used to do, and maybe this can help some of you guys listening, if you're going through a challenge or something and you're really trying to figure something out and you're stressed and not getting into creative mode. And a lot of times when people think of creative, they always think of the fact of like drawing and like painting and coloring. It's like, nah, creative is just thinking outside of this damn box that people want to put you in, or the box that you put yourself in, right? Spoiler alert, there is no box. All right, so something that I used to do is, so whatever it was a challenge, so say I needed money for something, I would get a piece of paper and I'd tape it to the wall. And I would write down what it is that the challenge is. So I'll just give an example if it's money you're trying to come up with. So I'd put, whatever the dollar amount that I was trying to come up with. So then what I would do is I would write all the usual ways that I would get money. Check my account, look at any credit cards that I might be able to pull something off of. Um, can I do a quick sale? I'd write something like that down. I mean, could I borrow it from someone? Who would I borrow it from? Like if a family or friend that I even feel comfortable even doing that, right? So I don't even know if that even goes on the list, right? But I would, list every usual way that I would go to find this money, right? I would put down everything that I could think of. And then I would step back from it and I'd turn my head and look at it upside down. Then from there, I'll take the piece of paper off of the wall and then I turn that upside down. So as I'm looking, I had it up my head upside down. That was a little uncomfortable, right? But this is what happens when we're growing. We get uncomfortable and we be like, we don't like it, right? So then we say, oh, let me go back to what this is. So I forced myself to be uncomfortable to try to read what I wrote. And then I turn the paper upside down and I'm still looking at it upside down. And it's like, okay, what am I doing here? But what you're actually doing is you're forcing your psyche to get creative. Because when you're looking at something upside down, you're really struggling hard in a sense to kind of figure it out. And then you're able to read it and you're like, oh, this actually is not as bad as I thought it would be, right? So we got to play these different games because like our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imaginative. So let's just work with it. Let's work with the power of like your mind and tap into that creativeness and look at things differently. So once you've already done this, you've already put everything on the paper that you think is what you would usually do, right? So now you're looking at it and you're like, well, okay, I've listed everything. So now you have no choice but to try to think of a different way because you've already unloaded everything on there that you would normally do. So just by looking at it upside down, because that's a little uncomfortable and it's forcing you to kind of figure out what it says, right? And you dumped everything on the piece of paper. So now you're like, okay, well, now what do I do? Ooh, now we're getting into this creative. And the next thing you know, something will just pop up in your head and you're like, what if I did this? Now that might not be the thing, and that's okay. But what you've done is you stretched yourself. So now we're not stressed. We've moved into this creative space where we're just coming up with some other things. I'm like, okay. And you could write that thing down on a separate piece of paper and just to keep it going. Right? So there's really no need to really be stressed. Right? That's really a choice. And again, I'm talking to myself here. I choose to be stressed. Or I chose to be stressed versus like, yo, just let me just look at this as another opportunity to figure some shit out. You know what I'm saying? And talk that talk over here. Just be like, I know you felt that before. Like you've been in a situation and you was like, yo, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. And then you ended up figuring it out and you feel really good about it, as you should. And I'll be like, talk that shit over there. So, what I've been doing now lately, and as the time that I'm recording this, when I say lately, the past 48 hours, I've really been stretching myself to think differently and to look at these challenges that aren't really challenges. They're actually just opportunities. But sometimes when we get so stressed, we look at it as a challenge versus looking at it as an opportunity. And what I've been afforded, especially this past week, is a lot of opportunities. It's like in basketball when they're doing the whole little alley oop, you got to throw it up and the other person got to catch it. And I feel like the universe is throwing it to me, and I'm just sitting there like, you want me to catch it? But I don't know how to catch it. Well, if I catch it, it's going to fall because this is, getting in my head and creating this level of stress, and I'm saying like, oh man, I have all these challenges in front of me, but it's like, I don't really have challenges in front of me. I have opportunities, right? I have opportunities and it's like, okay, what are you going to do with these opportunities? Are you going to just keep being stressed? Because then when you're stressed, it falls over into other things. And Lord knows what it's doing to the inside of your body by being stressed, right? So I want you guys to really look at what you feel like is challenging for you. And instead of being stressed, because you already know what that feels like, let's do something differently and switch it and look at it from a place of like, this is not a challenge. This is an opportunity for me to grow. This is an opportunity for me to even recognize maybe a belief that I have that's not serving me anymore. Or it's an opportunity to push past whatever limitations that you may have put on yourself or someone may have put on you and you've accepted it, or looking at it as an opportunity to just do something plain old fucking different. Be like, look, I already know I'm always doing that shit. I want to do something different. Right? So remember that challenge, air quote, it starts with you and the solution is within you. So now I want all of you guys, including myself, to go out there and just create some shit. Until next time, love you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Seeing with Your Soul. If something you heard resonated with you, feel free to rate, review, and share with others. If you are looking to go deeper, you can connect with Tisha Michelle on Instagram at Mindset Slayer or visit www.healingalignglow.com.